All right, guys, I had to get on camera for this one. I'm super excited. I got a package today and I want to share the opening of the package with you, and then we'll go from there. I'll explain better what's happening as we go from there. So here, check this out. This came in the mail today from Spider Dude Comics. Right here. It's actually for MySuperNerd. You guys definitely need to be checking out, following MySuperNerd. He is on Instagram, he's on Whatnot, he's on TikTok, he's on all the things. Excellent, excellent collector, seller. My counter is dirtier than I thought it was. Sorry about that. He also has a lot of excellent deals on comic book supplies, top loaders, magnetic holders, clear back boards, all that good stuff. So anyways, he had this sent directly to me. He purchased one of his Grails, not for nothing. This is not a cheap book in here, guys. And he's trusting me. He's trusting me to clean and press this book for him. So let's get into it. I've got my trusty Sheffield PO 4000 package opener, 4000. And I'm gonna see if I can do this one-handed. Right here. I can feel, I'm pretty sure it's a Gemini package. Or similar. That way I knew I could cut into that safely without causing any damage. Pull this guy out. That's pretty good packaging. That's not bad. I like the neat tape. I hate when I get these in there. There's a little flap in here, you guys will see. And a lot of sellers put the little flap over the big flap, and there's a little bit of, I'm not gonna say OCD, but OCD-like behavior in me that drives me crazy, because this, look how nice and clean and protected that is. The other way just doesn't make sense to me. Anyways. Okay. I'm getting excited. Yep, Gemini. There's the guy. That's my Super Nerd right there. Look at this. Super Nerd, they sent you. You're gonna get all this stuff, bro, once I finish up with this book. But you got a really cool Batman cover sticker. Oh, I like this one. Look at this Fantastic Four. These are awesome stickers. Yeah, those are really cool. Spider Dude Comics. Look at that personalized thank you letter, thank you note. Thank you, MySuperNerd. Have a great day. Look at that face. Look at that face. That is really cool. All that's going to get to him. Guys, keep in mind, I do this. Well, you know, this is my side hustle. Cleaning and pressing comic books on the cheap. I will do one or the other, clean or press, for $6. Clean and press together for $10, so you save a couple bucks there. Multiple press is a little more. Oh, look at this. Iron Man #1. Golly. This thing's actually in pretty good shape. So coming up after this, you guys are going to see some, I'm going to put some stills of some befores on this guy. And then we'll do you guys can walk through a time lapse with me on the cleaning of this guy. And then once it's pressed, we'll check it out. We'll see how well it's come out. Obviously all this color breaking, that's not going to go away, right? Like, there's not much you can do about that. But this thing is not flat. It's hard to see on camera without taking it out of the package, but it's not sitting flat. There's a bit of a roll here. There are some non-color breaking ticks. I can clean all the white up better. And we'll overall clean it too, because there's bound to be some dust and grime built into the pages of this book. This book has been around for a while, but man, it has been taken really good care of. For what it is, this is a beautiful book. Super Nerd, thank you so much, man. All right, let's get into the cleaning. All right, guys, here it is. This beauty. And we're gonna clean her up as best we can. We're gonna be real careful. She's actually not very dirty, at least compared to a lot of the books I've been cleaning lately. Don't worry, freshly washed, freshly washed. Very dry hands right now, but that's the way I like it when I'm doing the books. I don't like to wear gloves. I heard this from a couple other guys that do this. You can feel what's going on with the page without gloves on. So I make sure they're real clean. If you guys can see, there is a little, kind of like a speckling down here in the white. So I'm gonna very carefully clean all of this. I'll tell you guys right now, before we get into the cleaning, what I'm gonna use. I always start out with these cotton rounds. These guys, really light pressure. That gets the surface nice and clean. Now, this might get controversial, but I also like to use magic eraser. You can see I rip off a little bit, only on the white areas. I've heard some people say they don't like to use them because they're too harsh. I have not found that to be true yet, as long as you're just really careful and you don't touch the color, because it'll pull that color off of there right away. So magic eraser on the areas I can get to without risking damage to anything. Another one that's not super popular among cleaners, but I have found a lot of success with it, and again, being very slow and careful, is this guy. It's just an eraser. It's in like a pin. It retracts. Let's see if you can see. Oh, I'm almost out. I'm gonna put a new one in that so that doesn't happen to me in the middle of doing this book. I did have that on one of my practice books, but you can see it comes with, oh, look at that, just flinging it across. It comes with refills, so I can put a new one of these in. This is really nice for getting in between the words and the little tighter spots. Again, you gotta be super careful, but I like the control this has, and it does really well. I have even had some very careful success with my practice books on like lighter yellow areas. If there's some dirt smudges, I've been able to pull that off with this very, very lightly, like it barely feels like you're touching it, just on the dark spots without damaging the color. There's been no color loss. Again, I'm not looking with a microscope, so maybe I'm not seeing the damage I'm doing, but anecdotally speaking, it's been very successful. So those are the tools. That's what I'm gonna be using. Cotton round, eraser, magic eraser. I do wipe down with this, I forget what it's called. It's a spongy material. It usually comes with, you can get it as a deal with this Absorine. I'm probably not going to use this. It just, I don't want to potentially damage this book at all. We'll see how it goes. If I do, I may use it on the front, because, let me show you guys the front of this. It's a dark cover, so I won't be able to do much of anything other than the cotton round on this, except for in the name, the box, and down in this medallion here. So the Absorine, it does pull dust, like it says, it pulls out dust, smoke, all dirt, all that, but it pulls it actually out of the fibers a little bit better. We'll see once I get going on this how resilient I think this is going to be. I might go ahead and use it really carefully. Really, everything I'm talking about, you do it super light. You don't want to damage the book. Even more so when it is a Grail. Even more so when it is somebody else's Grail who's trusting you with it. You've got to take all the care in the world with this stuff. My whole goal is to bring this back closer to a higher quality book than it currently is, so that my friend who has been hunting for this book for a long time and has invested money into this book can be even happier with it and have even more value in it than what he's already put into it. So that's the goal, is to make my customer happy. All right, let's get into the cleaning process. All right, guys. It's as clean as I know how to get it with the equipment I have. Obviously, there's a few things pre-pressing I would like to do if I had it. There's a little crease here. Really hard to see. I think you can see it in the stills I take. But I need probably a ball bearing to get that out, and I don't have that yet. But luckily this is a friend of mine's, and once I get that skill set, those tools and that skill set built up, I will offer to re-press this and work on that at that time for free. But she's clean. I am like constantly re-cleaning my mat underneath. One time on one of my practice books, I wasn't obsessive about it, thought it was clean, and there was a little speck actually of this Absterine, and it ended up pressed into the book. Luckily it was a practice book, it had 0 value, and I was able to actually pick it out and repress it, and it was fine. But since then I'm like, oh gosh. So we're going to now insert the cards, the backing board in the middle, and then the printer sheets behind each front and back cover. Then we're going to give her a little steam. Where are you, middle? Sometimes I flip right to it, and other times it takes me forever. There we go. Staples. Fresh backer board. I wipe these too. I get a little obsessive about all of it now. And that's going to tuck in right snug up to those staples. That's going to keep, I think I mentioned this before and some of you guys know this, but it's going to keep, when I press, it'll prevent staple marks. You would get a staple impression on the covers, the front and the back, or one or the other, but either way you don't want it at all, right? So we put this guy in there, nice and snug, right up, snug as it'll go. Then we open the back cover. I gotta be careful with this thing. I feel like I don't know how to open a book. Jeez Louise. Back cover. I love looking at the old ads in here too. Look at this. 2 more Triumphs for Marvel. Captain Marvel and Submariner. This was a really cool age for Marvel when these guys were all getting premiered. And then if Norman Rockwell says they're looking for people who like to draw, so you know. All right, enough of that. Printer sheet, snug in there. shut that guy. I do this before I steam it so that once it's steamed, I can just get it in the press as quickly as possible. Now we're behind the front cover. I'll show you that ad too, since we're talking about how fun the ads are. Gigantic art mural offer. I feel like comic fans back in the 60s were a different breed. In case you're wondering, this was 1967 when Miss Beauty was published. Yeah, 1967. All right, so we tucked that one in. If you guys can see, we're all tucked in, ready for the pressing sandwich. Steam and pressing sandwich. All right, so let's go put some steam on it. All right, guys, my steam setup is not as well lit, but we have our Conair steamer ready to go. We'll get some steam coming out of there. Beautiful. We're gonna hit the front just to relax everything a little bit. Relax all those fibers. Make it really receptive to the heat of the press. Heat and pressure. Uh-oh. Almost out of water. I gotta tilt it up. Well, this is fun. Good content for you guys, huh? All right, back on. We're back on. Here we go. We hit one side. Carefully flip her over. We hit the other side. I got just enough left in here to finish this steam. You can see the pages start to curl. That's the fibers are expanding with that moisture, and it causes it to curl up on us a bit. That's a good thing. It means it's in there. It means it's working. All right. Next up, we're going to get it in the sandwich, and we're going to press this bad boy. All right, we are building our sandwich. We've got our aluminum plate. Oh. I turn the camera on and forget what I'm doing. Printer paper. This protects from any imperfections in the aluminum. SRP, silicone release paper. Shiny side up. Our beautiful book. Hopefully you guys can't hear my son upstairs. He is gaming and apparently losing. All right, zoom in ready. Try to do this fairly quick so it doesn't, that steam we just put in there doesn't go to waste, right? And you can tell that it's still moist, but there's not sticking to the SRP. That means you're not too wet. If you see it kind of like when you put tape down and it sticks, if it does like that, it's too wet. Dry it off a little bit, or let it dry a little bit. So SRP, more printer paper. All right. And then our other aluminum plate. And there we have a pressing sandwich. Ready to go. All right, we are at the press. I've set it in, I haven't clamped it down yet. We're at temp 160. And we're gonna press her down. Everything's lined up nice and even. Just a little pressure. I barely was pushing that down, but just enough to where it actually locks. All right, and we're gonna set a timer for 20 minutes and then let it sit for 24 hours. And then at that point, I'll pull it out, I'll check it. Because this is such a special book, I may go for a second press on this one. I may not, undecided. But I'll let you guys know. So for you, it'll be in a matter of seconds. But right now I'm going to show you guys the stills of the befores that I took. And then after that, we'll pull the book out, we'll take a look, we'll inspect it, and we'll see how we did. So here are those stills of before. Take a look. It's only going to get so much better, but it's not as bad as I've seen. Can't wait to see how it turns out. All right, gang. It has been at about 24 hours. Let's see what we got. If this is the video you're seeing, then it only needed one press, and that's awesome. That's always good news. Look at this. Projects. Get your name on the list. Come get your books pressed. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. Oh gosh, this is a pretty book. And I'm gonna do, you guys are gonna see in just a minute, side by sides of the stills of befores and afters. But you can see already she is flatter, she's clean. Some of this stuff will not press out. Like these are little, you can see in the light, like this line, it's a color breaking fold. And all these little color breaking ticks, you can see, look, boom. Right? That won't press out. This here, that's not going to press out. So, same thing up here. That also, it's a little color, but if you feel there's no discernible fold here. So that's the color, that's the break in the ink up here as well. That is that. Let's look at the back. Together. Let's do this together, folks. Yeah, this looks good. This looks good. I think this is a one and done. I mean, maybe that's my amateur opinion. But all this, I know I've tried getting, and this is where I'm new to this. So if you guys are experienced and you have any tips, how do I get this cleaner? Because I've repressed other books that came out like this. I don't know if you guys can tell. There's like a, it's not even a crinkling, but there's a bit of a, I don't even know what to call it, but you guys can see it. And you'll see it better in the stills in a minute. But if you're a comic book presser and you've got any tips on how to get a better clean edge on the spine, let me know, because I'm not sure yet. I've repressed, I've done like the second pressing, I flipped the book and did it the other way. Double insured, all my pieces were in nice and snug, and it came out exactly the same. So I'm not really sure, let's take these out, how to get a better press out of that. Yeah, she looks good. She looks good, you guys. Yep, she's gonna go back in the bag and board she came in, because it looks like it was brand new. But I'm also gonna throw this in a top loader for my buddy, because this is too pretty. He's probably gonna end up putting it in one of his awesome magnetic holders, and then he'll just give me that one back. But she turned out real nice. All right, guys. Excuse the sloppiness. I just got back from the gym, but thank you guys so much for checking this out with me. I'm really honored and stoked to be able to do this Grail for MySuperNerd. His link to his accounts are in the description or in the comments. Check him out, give him a follow, check out his website. Awesome deals on comic supplies. And if you guys want your books pressed and cleaned and taken care of, hit me up, let me know, comment on this video, shoot me a DM. ramlevancomics@gmail is my email, so you can email me any of the above. Because of my newness, I don't think you can beat my prices, but you guys can see from my posts and from this video that I'm still doing good work. I'm taking really good care of your books. I'm not pushing the limits on anybody else's books. I've got a whole stack of books that are not really redeemable, and those are the ones that I'm experimenting. I'm trying stuff. You can see on Iron Man, the white areas are not really white anymore. There's treatments for that. I've not practiced them. I'm not very good at them. And if you're going to grade a book, you don't really want to do those. Word has it that they can tell if you don't do it exactly right. And then you end up not getting a blue label. And nobody wants that. So yeah, don't worry. Have confidence in my care and love for your books. That's what I'm going to do. And that's what I care about, is making you guys happy. So if you've got books that need a little love, hit me up, please. I would love, love, love to bring those back to life. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Guys, here's the product. Up close and personal, it's not super awesome, but compared to the original, a vast improvement to the befores. And if you guys want to see the side-by-sides like I promised, check out my TikTok or my Instagram. Just search Ramblin' Van. You'll find me. And I'll have those if you see my other TikToks, just like that. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you want your books restored, let me know. Hit me up.